So shout out to Jeremy for letting us review his KRX. And we're also gonna work on it a little bit. We're gonna put some rock blocks on it, and then also do the maintenance. So it's just about to be broken in. So we're gonna do the engine oil, diffs, all that stuff to get it ready for him. But he loaded it up on our trailer and accidentally took the key with him. So we're just bringing it over here so we can do the review video. So
real at some point. What's up, guys? Bryce, Steven. Just kidding. I'm Steven. This is Bryce. Discover Power Sports. Coming to you live from Decatur, Texas, North Texas here. We've got an interesting unit on the channel today. Been talking about it here for a little while, a little build up, and we finally got it in our hands, thankfully. So we've got the KRX 2022. This is the Trail Edition. So this actually has a little bit of add-ons, a little bit of factory stuff on it and goodies. So we're gonna do a little bit of walk around, a little review of this, just a glance and walk around. We're gonna get to some live action stuff on the next video, so stay tuned for that. But all in all, really cool unit. Our history with Kawasaki goes a long way back. I mean, the first four-wheelers either of us have ever operated, I guess we could say we bleed Kawasaki green, but everything we've had has been red. So there's that. We're big prairie guys. You'll see prairies on the channel in the background. Those are our workhorses. We have a lot of fun with those things. Myself, I've only ever owned Kawasaki's up until my 2020 XDS. So I had Teryx, I had multiple prairies, and then both of us, our first venture into owning motorcycles was a Kawasaki KLR. So love those things, the reliability, the price point on those things, that Kawasaki torque, that Kawasaki character. Had a lot of fun with those things. We've got a lot of experience with prairies. You'll see more and more of those on the channel, some challenges and some other items coming up on those guys. So stay tuned for that as well. So we've got a lot of history with these things. So we're very excited to see Kawasaki venture to this. Obviously, it's been out for a couple years. They've been coming out with several different variants, from the S model to the electronic suspension model, and as well as the special edition that rolled out this year as well. So a lot of cool things happening. Just rolled out the 4-seater. We're going to stay tuned for a turbo. That's what we really need to see, a little bit more power out of these guys. So this guy, 112 horsepower out of a 999 1000cc 4-stroke motor. Obviously, Kawasaki's stepping up. They just take a little bit of time getting after it. So cool unit. We're going to start walking around. Obviously, you'll notice carnivores, really cool. So again, my 2022 XRS has carnivores on it, 32 inches. These are 31s all the way around, bead locked, very cool. So great little tire if you're doing some rock climbing, some off-roading, some trail stuff. Pretty durable. Been great on mine so far. I only have about 200 miles on mine though. So this thing is just now getting close to its break-in. Like I said, we're also going to cover the maintenance on this guy, doing the oil on the motor and doing the diffs and a few of the grease points and some other stuff on that as well. All
right, so this is a 999cc parallel twin. It sounds very good. It sounds very Razor-ish to me, which makes sense because they're very similar engines. I used to have a Brute Force 750. It was a 2008, first year of fuel injection, and as far as power sports and four-wheelers and stuff, that Brute Force 750 was hard to beat as far as sound. It was awesome. But as far as power, I think it's got about 112 horsepower, which, so that's probably my only beef with this thing, at least on paper, is it's pretty underpowered. When Kawasaki came out with it, I was pretty excited because I have always liked Kawasaki's. I grew up on Kawasaki's. My parents bought two Kawasaki Prairie 300s back in 2002, and that's what I grew up on. And through high school, I rode those things, and me and all my friends, we rode hard, and those things survived. They had some Hondas and Polarises and stuff that didn't quite make it as good, but one of the Prairies we still have and still runs, even though it smokes and burns a lot of oil. But we're gonna get to that, and we're gonna fix that up here on the channel. Talking suspension, so these have a Fox 2.5-inch podium, and it's called LSC, which to me would mean low speed compression. It's got one clicker on each shock that you can dial. I think it's like 24 or 20 clicks, something like that. So you can, there's a little bit of adjustability there with no rebound adjustment. The front suspension has about 19 inches of travel, and the rear suspension has about 21. So more than enough. My first side-by-side was a 2014 Can-Am Maverick XRS, and I think that thing had 14 inches of travel front and back, something like that. So this is a far cry even from that.
Okay. So this being the Trail Edition, like I said earlier, it comes with several factory options. We've got the bumper. Obviously this is a paint match bumper. This actually has the cutout for a factory switch and LED light setup. That's factory harness, factory switch. It goes right into the dash for a bar light to go in here. Obviously you can go aftermarket. It will accommodate up to a 10-inch bar, I believe, pretty easily. So has mounting points and everything, but it's nice and rigid. Very Kawasaki, and what I mean by that is very heavy. So pretty cool setup. This also comes with a factory winch. This is a VRX 45. This is a steel cable winch. This is something that you can find on our website, discoverpowersports.com. So great winch. We've obviously put this on a Defender previously, and I actually run the synthetic version on my X3. So great setup, comes from factory. Harnessed, wired, everything. So great tool. Moving around this thing, obviously you'll see on the sides, you've got some tree kicker Nerf bars. These are great protection, and these are very thick. Again, Kawasaki, overbuilt. It is heavy, but you're gonna pin this up against a tree or a rock. I feel this is gonna hold up compared to some of your cheaper version, your thinner materials. These things are very, very heavy and very well built. Counts as a step, also paint matched as well. It is rigid mounted to the frame, not any of the thin pinch welds or anything like that. Obviously straight from the factory, really good wraparound protection. So even paint matched, and obviously it's got the factory Kawasaki symbol in there. Top, it's got the KQR sport roof from the factory. It's obviously this is option. The base models don't come with this guy. So very handy, keeps the sun off of you and away from you, but a great roof, very sharp looking and pretty sporty. Moving to the back, obviously we have our front bar. We've got a rear bar as well. So this actually has a couple features on it as well. It's got some mounting points for some lighting and some other accessories, but it's a great pull point, winch point. If you got to yank something out with this, if you hit something with this, again, super well built, very sturdy, very thick, very Kawasaki standards and quality. So pretty cool little accessories on this guy from the factory. This is retails for $22,999, so right around $23,000. Obviously you get the lovely fees and some freight slapped on top of this, but a very economical unit for what you're getting. Rocks, trails, everything it can do, and do it well. Obviously not a speed demon, but we've had it everywhere. We've had the X3s and it's excelled pretty good. So a great unit all around. I highly recommend this for especially someone starting out in side-by-sides. It's been a great unit so far. Some other quirks about this unit, man, it's like they built it for its own spare. So really cool, you know, factory setups here, hooks. Obviously you've got the link systems in your Can-Ams, but Kawasaki just makes it super easy. You can use whatever the heck you want to secure the cargo. Just a regular bungee strap or regular ratchet strap. A lot of room back here for some things. Obviously they have more accessories. They have bolt-on spare tire racks, coolers, all kinds of different toolboxes that can go on this. A whole line of accessories, believe it or not, from Kawasaki. Couple other items on this guy as well. This has a digital cluster, so again, very sporty looking. Kind of a turn of the page for Kawasaki, getting into more advanced electronics and just spending a little money on some of those small creature comforts that all of us like. And when I say that, this thing has to hold the World Guinness record for the most cup holders of any side-by-side ever made. This thing has like 7 in the doors, in the dash, behind the seats, as well as in the back of the bed. A lot of cups. So if you got that problem, there you go. Also comes with a couple other options from the factory. It comes with this bar, obviously to stabilize the passenger. It has an e-brake, so typical Teryx fashion, just like the old Teryx. Comes with an emergency brake, a high, low, neutral, and reverse range. A nice factory easy setup. This does have a diff lock. Again, this is Kawasaki. They've been putting diff locks even on our prairies for years and years and years now. So really cool that they do that from the factory, and it's a very sturdy, well-built four-wheel drive system in my opinion, and a heavy-duty locker. We've never managed to break them. Another cool thing about these is the doors open up the right direction. Ta-da. So another awesome thing, it's just the simple things that Kawasaki thinks about, the durability, and you know, again, they leave a lot to be desired in speed and some of the other advanced technological things that these new ones do, but at the price point for what you get, the looks, what it can do, this is a great buy, great machine. Can't say enough about it. So we'll get to some live action, like I said, on the next video. All right, what else you want?
So like I said, whenever we were pulling it over here, we don't have the keys, so we can't show you the lighting, but the tail lights are LED, you know, brake and running. I don't know if anybody's come up with a street legal kit to use this yet, but I'm sure they will. But then going around to the front here, the headlights are very nice. They're also all LED, high beam and low beam. I don't know which one is which, but this little strip here is a like a daytime running light or accent light or something.
Yeah, it's like a signature light.
Yeah, it looks great.
Pretty sharp. Yeah, I'm not sure much on the street legal kits around these, again, because only 3 years and them being a Kawasaki, I don't know how crazy the aftermarket's gotten. But as you can see, got a few things on this unit. This is actually my brother-in-law's unit, so he's actually rode the X3s, wanted to get in the game and start getting some experience, and this is a awesome unit to start with. So he's already got a few mods on there. He's got a polycarbonate windshield with a vent. This is a non-scratch resistant version, so won't get scratched up. Holds up pretty well. He's got a little bit of LED lighting on here as well, some very modest LED lighting. We're going to get them into some dial dynamics over time, but they put out great light for what they are. I dig them. And you got these sweet seat belt little covers here for your collarbone. Must have for the ladies. So check out the website. Maybe we'll have them on there here soon. It'll be a hot seller. We'll run a special. Obviously got some rear exterior LED lighting as well for backing up, and as well as chase lights. So pretty cool little setup, some very just tasteful mods. We're gonna be doing the maintenance on this guy and putting on some rock blocks for the trailing arms as well. Same brand, same versions of what we have for our Can-Ams, our X3s, but we're gonna put on the KRX version. So we'll have a little bit of footage of that and do a little bit of time lapse on that when we install those on this guy. Just a little bit more protection. Obviously, when four-wheel drive with these meaty tires, you're gonna be throwing and slinging some rocks. So another cool little thing on this guy.
One of my favorite parts about this, for guys that are X3 guys, they kind of know, well, and Razor guys too, I think, the cabins are a little tight. There's a lot of room inside here, but the storage is awesome. So you've got the glove box, you've got all this storage here, which I'm sure there's something in Kawasaki that goes there. I don't know.
Yeah, they've got a radio setup that goes there. They actually have a double DIN version, and they have some aftermarket half DIN versions, so you can put in like a marine boat style radio. So a lot of options here, as well as like a netting, so you can just put some stuff in it to store it without it sliding out. So a lot of cool aftermarket things are starting to pop up.
Yeah, and then this lid up here on the top, awesome. But then look behind the seats of this thing. I mean, you could put a I mean, a loaded backpack back there, and no problem with room.
You got room for a spare engine almost back there, so spare block at least. So carry all your guys, multiple fire extinguishers for your Polaris guys. So
yeah, you could fit at least 40 of them in here.
Yeah. Be able to suppress a fire in no time for your on the trail for our Polaris friends. But very ergonomical, very Kawasaki again. I came from the 2018 Teryx 750 LE. Great ergonomical setup, a lot of room in the cab, a lot of available space. The seats, I'll say they're very comfortable for the seating position. So they put a pretty thick coating on these guys, very comfortable. I dig them, I like them a lot. But just Kawasaki, very utilitarian but very sporty. Again, their first venture into a full sport utility side by side, but a lot more kind of unfold, I think, over the years. But it took a long time for Kawasaki to get here. How many years was the normal Teryx out before they even rolled this thing out? Over a decade, I think. So
yeah, it was a long time.
Gonna take a little bit of time for them to get moving on making these any more powerful, but hey, we'll wait and we'll hope with this next rollout that they'll have something else more eventful for this guy or within the next coming years.
Yeah, I mean, I love my Can-Am, but try doing this with a Can-Am. I mean, it just shuts, and it's very nice. So you're not gonna get that on your Can-Am, sorry. I love mine, don't get me wrong, but it's just not the same.
Yeah, I mean, they put drain plugs in the floorboards, and I mean, they've got speaker holes if you want to go and add a speaker to the door panel. They've got an arm bolster built into it. Again, a nice door handle, easy to use. Cup holder down here. Like I said, more cup holders than you'd ever possibly need. It's got to be in the Guinness World Book of Records. Plenty of travel for the seats, adjustments for the seats. So, like I said, they rolled out the 4-door version of this, 4-seater version of this. So they used up some of that space building that puppy. Again, what's unique about this also is this is 68 inches wide, and this has only width option for this machine. So it's right there in the middle between your 64s and your 72s. It is a very good size. Doesn't feel very tippy. Obviously, with the power it has, the sway bars, and the suspension layout, it feels pretty comfortable in the corners. So again, very good machine to start out on. Great machine to get into, especially if you're doing trail riding. The rock climbing guys obviously rave about these machines and what they can do and how you can beat the crap out of these things. They're Kawasaki's. I mean, they hold up. So very pumped to get it out. Again, right at the edge of its break-in, so we're going to be doing some maintenance on it and then have some live action footage coming.
One thing worth mentioning, probably one of the reasons why it is sluggish, even with 112 horsepower, is it's heavy. I think just the empty weight or curb weight or whatever you want to call it on this thing is over 2,000 pounds. So to compare that with an X3, they're more around 1,800 or something. So 200 pounds difference empty. So just something to consider.
Yeah, you add in all these accessories, you basically have a Baja Bug, but maybe even a little bit heavier. So, but a cool machine nonetheless, even with the weight. But again, it's solid built. You're not going to worry about breaking something on its body. I mean, these alone have to be 25 pounds, 30 pounds. I mean, they are very well built, thick. I mean, this has got to be drill stem that they made these out of.
This, I mean, typical cool like Kawasaki thought out stuff. Oil filters right here, easy to get to. Sight glass to see how much oil you've got right there. And then of course your fill right here. It looks like the transmission or diff, it's pretty easy to get to back there. So we'll get to more of that with the maintenance when we do it and we show you all everything. But I mean, it looks like it's going to be something that's pretty easy to work on.
Yeah, another cool thing I guess is the intakes and the exhaust for the clutch system and for the air intake systems. You've got these pretty cool little setups right here over the cab side, so they're not pointing directly at your head and into the cab and echoing through your brain. Actually pretty quiet, and the clutch is pretty quiet. So pretty sweet. I like the setup, easy to clean, easy to get to, very high up on the machine. Again, I don't know how deep people have taken these factory ones, but if you're a mud guy, again, got plenty of torque. They're very heavy again, but hey, I think they'll make it through a ravine and be just fine and not get water into the system. So another cool thing, just this little mesh, keep particulates from getting in there any easier, so you've got a pre-filter protecting all that system.
Yeah, if you're familiar with Polaris razors and how they have typically done their intakes and exhaust for their CVT and all that, it's in the same location typically up on the top of the rear fender, but it's also, yeah, this frog skin pre-filter helps kind of keep the water out. It runs water off of it, but also helps keep some of the dust out. So make sure to like, subscribe, share this with others. If somebody's looking at a Teryx KRX, show them this. They might be interested. It's a pretty new unit, and we're gonna have more to come with it. We're gonna use it. We're gonna do a little bit of off-roading with it, nothing heavy. We're not gonna do it in this one because it just rained last night, and so everything's pretty muddy, and it's not our machine, so we don't want to, cover it in mud. But
yeah, we're gonna give it a spa day here after that break-in's done, and then put it through its paces a little bit and get you some good live action footage. But you got any questions on it before we shoot that video, hey, leave them below in the comments. We'll do a couple things with it, or if you got something you want to see in the next video, hey, holler at us, leave it in the comments, and we'll shoot some extra footage and get y'all an answer on that, of course.